Instant match reaction, there you go, the season well and truly over and done with. Everton 0, Sheffield United 1 at Goodison Park. Gutless, spineless, pathetic, embarrassing, disgraceful. They're not only words to describe tonight's performance, they're words to describe pretty much the entirety of this season, certainly the games at Goodison Park. We've been absolutely embarrassing at Goodison this season, and that tonight epitomised it. The worst performance bar none. The worst performance arguably I've ever seen Everton put in, never mind just this season. We were that bad tonight. Listen, before I get into it, credit to Sheffield United. They turned up, they were confident, they had a spine, they come forward, they attacked us, they looked like they wanted to go out and win, and considering they had absolutely nothing to play for, they played out their skin, and they were thoroughly deserving of their 3 points tonight. But as for Everton, I'm done. I'm absolutely done with this club. I really am. That's a team that we were told 2 weeks ago had what it takes to play in a European competition, had the mentality to finish in Europe. Carlo Ancelotti, you're not kidding any of us. You're absolutely not kidding any of us. These players either don't care about this football club and don't want to play in Europe, or they're just not good enough, and it's a mix of the both of them. They're absolutely dreadful. The majority of this squad is dross, absolute dross, and this club is dross from top to bottom, mate. Top to bottom. The mentality of this football club is disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. How can we go out and make a side that have been relegated for 5 weeks and had absolutely nothing to play for other than their pride look like prime Brazil tonight when we were supposedly playing for a European position? And you know what? I don't care. Europe's done, absolutely done now. I think Everton will finish 10th. I don't think Everton will pick up another point between now and the end of the season. If you're going to Goodison Park on Wednesday, soak it up, enjoy it, absolutely enjoy it, because don't bother watching the game, don't bother what's happening on the pitch. Just soak up the fact that you're back at Goodison Park, because we haven't been there for so long. Don't worry about those players. They couldn't care less. They absolutely couldn't care less. It's one of the two. Ancelotti has to address this. It's one of the two. He needs to come out and say the players don't care or the players aren't good enough. None of this, we just weren't good enough today, this, that and the other. It's dross. It's absolutely dross. And again, like I said, that's not acceptable for Everton Football Club. It's not acceptable. We need a massive clear out in the summer. A massive clear out in the summer. 7, 8, 9 new players in for us to even be challenging for Europe, and that's not going to happen over one summer, by the way. So we won't be challenging next season either. It'll probably be the season after, if anything, that we'll be challenging for Europe. How, to be honest, look, again, was Ancelotti to blame for today? Partially, yes, probably. But how he's gotten this side, how he's gotten these players to even be in a position where they're fighting for, a European competition is baffling, to be honest with you. He deserves an award for it, because this squad is shocking. Absolutely shocking. Again, we go 1-0 down 17 minutes in or something like that to a 17-year-old lad who's making his full Premier League debut, puts the ball in the back of the net, and we started the game relatively comfortably. We didn't have any opportunities, we didn't have any chances, but we looked relatively comfortable. We were playing the ball around, we looked confident, and this is what I mean by spineless, gutless. This is what I mean by a team of, everybody talks about this Everton team, it's a team of bottlers, they bottle every opportunity. How can you disagree with that when we've gone from looking comfortable and starting the game relatively well, going 1-0 down with a stupid goal, and instead of picking ourselves up and going, actually, that was a silly goal to concede, it's only 20 minutes into the game, let's pick ourselves up and go again, we just completely fall to bits. No energy, like I said, no grit, no determination, no spine, no passion, nobody can pass a ball. There wasn't one decent performer today on that pitch. Jordan Pickford aside, because he didn't really do anything wrong, nobody had a decent game. James Rodriguez couldn't pass a parcel, and he was dying to come off at the end. He was absolutely dying to come off. You could tell by the tackles he was putting in. And you know what? I've seen a lot of people on Twitter slating Carlo Ancelotti for the substitution. I've come out and spoke openly about Carlo Ancelotti and his substitutions this season. I don't blame him one bit for that. I really don't blame him one bit for that, because look, it's either James Rodriguez goes off as a substitute there or he gets sent off, because he wasn't interested at that point. He was throwing in rash tackles on the edge of our box, giving away stupid free kicks, and he was going to walk either way. He was either going off as a substitute or he was getting sent off. Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, again, missing chances, comfortable chances. Richarlison has a header from 5 yards out and puts it straight into Ramsdale's arms, and then Ramsdale's arms, whatever, and then Dominic Calvert-Lewin gets the rebound and puts it straight into him. I'm sorry, but world-class strikers score those chances. I love Dom. Dom's had a great season, this, that and the other. That's not good enough tonight. It's absolutely not good enough. You can talk all you like about Dominic Calvert-Lewin and about, you know, it being a great save by Ramsdale and this, that and the other. It's shocking. It's absolutely dreadful by the pair of them. We've got a strike partnership who can't score goals, can't work as a team. I want Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison to play as a pair, but if they can't play as a pair, then one of them has to be sacrificed. Either take them out completely, one of them out completely, or put one of them on the wing, probably Richarlison, and say you're going to have to do that because you can't play next to Dom. Because they can't play together. They can't play together, it's proven. Again, like I said, the passing was just woeful. And look, I really don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say, because that's our season done, by the way. That's it. That's done and dusted. We ain't finishing in Europe. None of this, we have to beat City away now. It's done. It's absolutely done. Wednesday will be a decent event because fans will be back at Goodison and that'll be brilliant. But don't worry about them players. They're already on their holidays. They're already sat up with their feet up on the beach. They're sat there. They don't care. They're not interested in finishing in Europe. They're not interested in playing for Everton Football Club for the remainder of this season. And I'm done with this season, by the way. I've got no interest in Wednesday night. The only positive about Wednesday night is its fans back at Goodison Park. And I'm absolutely made up for those fans that have got a ticket. Although those fans are probably sitting there now thinking, I don't want to go. There's nothing positive about Wednesday night, and I couldn't care less about City. I honestly, we beat them because they put out a fourth strength team because they're in the Champions League final, and 6 days later, I don't care. I do not care about this season. Now I'm done. That's it. I am done with this season. We're not finishing in Europe. We're absolutely not finishing in Europe. Europe is gone, done, dusted. We've dropped too many points to teams that we should be beating, and fair play to Sheffield United today. They turned up, they battled, they worked hard, but Everton have embarrassed themselves today, utterly embarrassed themselves. And I don't want to hear from Ancelotti. Don't do a post-game press conference, don't come out and say it wasn't good enough, I don't want to hear from Michael Keane or Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Luca Dean. Just go home and don't bother saying a word, because you had your chance to do your talking on the pitch tonight, and every single one of them was atrocious, absolutely atrocious. The wide players, Coleman and Dean couldn't cross their arms today. Bloody hell, mate, they couldn't cross a box as in on a piece of paper. They were absolutely atrocious. The strikers couldn't finish the dinner. The midfielders were everywhere, giving away foul, being outrunning the midfield, out-battled. That's all it was today. And I've said this on a number of occasions throughout the season. I've said it a number of times. I honestly reckon I could phone up 11 of my mates. We could go down to Goodison Park and we'd fucking batter Everton. We would beat Everton off the park, because you know what we'd have? We'd have a bit of grit. We'd have a bit of passion. We'd have a bit of fight. We'd have a bit of energy. And this Everton team doesn't have any of that. It doesn't have any of that whatsoever. And it's absolutely embarrassing. From top to bottom, it's embarrassing. Sheffield United turned up today, they scored early on and they thought, no, do you know what, actually we can get at this Everton team. And all as Everton had to do is match that fight. All as Everton had to do is step up and go, no, hang on a minute, we're the much better team here, we're fighting for Europe, you've got nothing to play for, we're going to show our quality. But what did we do? We shit ourselves and went, oh no, sorry, you're coming out, you have this game, then you do what you want with it, you go and win it, you perform, you battle, you fight. We don't want any of that. Aimless crosses into the box all game, silly pass, couldn't pass a ball, final ball dreadful. When the strikers do get chances, they're missing them. I've said it multiple times. You turn up at Goodison Park, you turn up against Everton, and all you have to do is want that game more than Everton do. And it doesn't matter if you're the best team in the land or if you're a Sunday League team with fucking 11 players who have been out on the ale the night before. If you turn up and you want it more than Everton, you will beat Everton, regardless of your James Rodriguez, your Dominic Calvert-Lewin, your Richarlison, your Ben Godfrey. Regardless, you will beat Everton if you want it more than Everton, because we never want it more than anybody. We never, ever turn up in a game of football at Goodison Park, certainly this season, and want it more than any other team. We never do, and that's the most embarrassing thing. Do you know, if we were dreadful at home and the squad was awful, which I think it is, and the team is awful, which I think it is, and we just turned up and we fought and we battled and we showed grit and we lost to a team that performed better than us, I'd go, do you know what? At least you can say these players are trying. At least you can say they're giving it their all. At least you can say they're battling. But they're not doing any of that. They're not doing any of that. They couldn't pass a parcel. They couldn't cross their arms. They couldn't score. They couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo up front. Defensively, we're atrocious. I'm done with it. I'm absolutely done with it. I really am. And I haven't been this angry after watching a game of football for a long time. And do you know what? I thought to myself, I thought I'd seen it all with Everton. I thought I'd never ever get to this point again. I thought I'd just, every loss, every poor performance, every defeat, I'd just sit here and go, well, you know, what do we expect? But realistically, what do we expect? What do we expect? I said this the other day. I said this is the game where Everton are more likely to slip up than any other game this season. If you were to pinpoint, if you were to say to me at the end of the season, right, Cam, this is how the league table is, this is how these results have gone, what score do you reckon that Sheffield United game ended? I'd say we lost it, we'll lose it. Because it was written in the stars. And do you know how horrible that is to say that that type of performance isn't a surprise? That type of performance is become expected of Everton. That type of performance is like, yeah, well, what do we expect? It's Everton. Of course, we're going to turn up and lose to a team that are already relegated, that have got nothing to play for when we're in a fight for Europe. We played like the team that were already relegated today, and they played like the team that were in a fight for Europe, that had something to play for. Do you know how embarrassing that is? I'm not interested anymore. I'm not asked about the Wolves game. I'm not asked about the City game. The season is well and truly done. Go out in the summer, 5, 6, 7 players, get rid of 6, 7, 8 players in this squad that clearly aren't good enough, and go and completely rebuild. Is Ancelotti the man for the job? Look, only time will tell. To be honest with you, I see people's issues with Carlo Ancelotti. I do, and I understand them. I do, and I get that. But look, ultimately, Carlo Ancelotti has taken a bang average mid-table Everton side into a fight for Europe this season, and that's all it is. That's all we are, a bang average mid-table Everton side. They haven't got the mentality. And you know what? The reason I said before about the club and it coming from the top and it running through the entire club, those players weren't screaming at each other tonight. The only one who I seen screaming and opening his mouth was Jordan Pickford in goal. And he's in goal, and the majority of the rest of the team are 40, 50 yards in front of him, so can't hear him. As soon as we went 1-0 down, every single one of those players should have been screaming at each other, grabbing each other and screaming at each other. Get yourself in the game, sort yourself out, wake up, come on, we're better than this. They don't. They just drop their heads and go, yeah, 1-0 down again, yeah, whatever. And then at half-time, it'll have just been, yeah. I said it on Twitter, I said at half-time, I love Carlo Ancelotti, but I really, really, really hope he doesn't even step foot in that dressing room. I hope he sends Duncan Ferguson in, shuts the door, and then just waits for them to come out. And I don't know whether he did or not, but judging by the second half performance, he didn't, because the players they've got nothing about them, nothing to say, yeah, we're going to get up, we're going to go now. Well, yeah, we've gone 1-0 down, but you know what? We've got that passion to get back in the game. We've got the quality to beat these. We've got the energy to get back into it. I said, as soon as we went on 1-0 down, I said, game over. This team doesn't have the mentality to get back into these types of games. Game, set and match, done and dusted. And we showed that. We showed that as soon as we went 1-0 down. Heads dropped. There was no one screaming at each other, no one shouting at each other, no one getting, picking the game back up and trying to rile people on. Where's the leaders? Where's the leadership on the pitch? Seamus Coleman thinks he's playing rugby. Every pass he makes is backwards. And that, to be fair to him, when he makes a forward pass, it usually ends up in the keeper's arms or out of play. So I don't blame him for every pass he makes is going backwards. Again, Alan today, not great. Decore today, not great. Hammers, done nothing. Absolutely was trying to create, but done nothing. The forwards aren't singing. They're not even singing off the same fucking book. Never mind the hymn sheet. They're not even singing in the same library, mate. They're the different bloody areas of the country. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. Where do we go from here? For me, we just get on with it until the end of the season, I suppose. Season's done now for me. Europe's done. Europe's gone. Said it before. Mathematically, if Tottenham drop a load of points, if West Ham drop a load of points, absolutely brilliant, sound, great. We don't deserve Europe. We absolutely don't deserve Europe. And if we finish in Europe at the end of this season, I certainly won't be sitting here going, oh, brilliant, we're in Europe, look how well we've done. I'll be sitting here saying we've gotten in that off the back of the faults of the other sides. We don't deserve it whatsoever. You can't lose to a relegated Sheffield United side and then honestly sit here and say, oh yeah, we deserve to play in Europe. Nonsense. We don't deserve anything. We deserve another mid-table finish, 8th, 9th, 10th. To be honest, if we're going to finish 8th, I'd rather finish 10th. Just finish 10th. Because what's the point? What is the point? And Carlo Ancelotti's face said it all. He's looking at this squad thinking, I can only come out in press conferences, in interviews, in the press and defend this squad so many times. That's indefendable tonight. That is indefensible tonight. He's going to have to come out and say one or two things. They don't care or they're not good enough. And I'd rather him do it. I'd rather him come out and go, these players don't give a shit about Everton Football Club, or these players are just shite. They haven't got the bottle, they haven't got the grit, they haven't got the determination, they haven't got the spine, they haven't got the grit, they haven't got the passion, they haven't got the willingness, they haven't got the quality. Because beyond all of that, I've seen a lot of people today say, and over the last few weeks say, oh, this Everton team just, they don't care, they're not, you know, they don't want to play, they don't want to. Maybe they're just not good enough. Maybe we just haven't got the level of player that we all think we've got. Maybe this squad is massively deceiving, and actually it's pretty poor. And it's the manager who's gotten us into the position that we're in so far this season. I'm not saying he's you know, you can't, you know, slate him or say that he's made wrong decisions, because he has made wrong decisions. But to be honest, I don't blame any. Look at the substitutions today. Mason Allgate went off for half time. He was dross. He was absolutely dross. And to be honest, I don't know if Mason will play for Everton ever again. He was shocking. Brought Sigurdsson on. Forward-thinking substitution. I've got no issue with the James substitution, by the way. No issue with it whatsoever. James Rodriguez had done. He tried to create, but you could see he was getting frustrated. In the second half, he was doing the majority of his work in our area. He was dropping way too deep. He was giving away silly fouls, and he was on a yellow card. I've said it before. If James doesn't go off as a sub, he walks off sent-off, and that's done for the season. Got no issue with the James substitution. Gomez for Decore. Yeah, I'm not at this point. I'm not really asked, to be honest. As soon as I seen Decore and as soon as I seen Gomez come on for Decore, I really wasn't bothered at that point. So I have, again, some would say, well, we set up with a 5 at the back and this, that, and the other. We've got no wide players. We have no wingers, and we had 2 fullbacks today that couldn't cross. Granted, Luca Dean's had a great season, blah blah blah, and all that stuff, but the pair of them couldn't cross their arms today. So ultimately, once those players step on that pitch, what's Carlo meant to do? What's he meant to do when those players go 1-0 down and drop their heads? Yeah, he can go in the dressing room. Yeah, he can stand and scream on the sideline. But he can't put a kit on and go and lead them. He can't put a kit on and go and rally them up in midfield and scream at them on the pitch and say, come on, let's get forward. Ugh, I don't know. Like I said before, season's well and truly done. Done and dusted. And this Everton team is gutless, spineless, pathetic and embarrassing, to be honest with you. And I'm done now for the summer. And I'll do the instant match reactions, I'll do the previews, I'll do the reviews, but yeah, in terms of what Everton have got to fight for, we're in the same situation. Not the same, obviously, because Sheffield United have been relegated, but we're in a very similar situation to what Sheffield United are in now. We've got nothing to play for now. Absolutely nothing to play for. Europe's done. Absolutely done. And I wish somebody had said to this squad 3 weeks ago before the Villa game, I wish somebody had said to this squad after the Villa defeat at home, Europe's done, you won't finish in Europe, because maybe we'd have had the pressure off us a little bit and we'd have gone and we'd have, you know, actually performed in the next 3 or 4 games. It's simple. These players can't play under pressure. They're not good enough. They haven't got the grit. They haven't got the spine. They can't play under pressure. And they were playing under pressure today. And they were playing against the team who were playing with no pressure whatsoever. And you could see that. Look, anyway, there you go. That's my instant match reaction. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like if you want. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Play ratings will be up shortly. Just dreadful. And that's it now. Season's done. At least the season's over. That's a massive weight off all of our shoulders, isn't it? The season's over and we can just get on with our lives now and look forward to the summer. We'll all be excited again when we sign. Hopefully someone decent in the summer. Hopefully not Philippe Coutinho, because he's not the answer to our problems. But yeah, as for this season, it's done and dusted. Big thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon. Cheers for watching. See you later.